In Gwinnett County, Georgia, you can earn a mandated, by law, 20% penalty in 365 days or less. Hi, I'm Ted Thomas, and today I will show you exactly how tax defaulted auctions work in Georgia and how you can profit. Georgia is one of my favorite states for tax defaulted property auction. Full disclosure, I've worked with coaches for over 20 years, and I've conducted classes and practiced buying tours to buy redeemable deeds in Georgia. Then I waited for the process to run its course and ended up with the property and then resold the property for exceptionally high profits. Georgia and 5 other states conduct redeemable deed auctions. The auction works to the advantage of the defaulting property owner and to the advantage of the auction bidder, which I'll explain shortly. Warning, until the 365-day, which is a redeemable period, the original property owner can reclaim the property by repaying the highest bidder 100% return, that's 100% ROI, and a 20% penalty. Let me clarify what makes Gwinnett County special. It's in the booming northwest corner of Atlanta Metro with over 1 million residents. According to Zillow, the population has grown 44% in just 5 years, and the average home values exceed $400,000. This growth creates exceptional opportunities for tax deed auctions. The Georgia legislature requires, that is, they mandate, all private property owners must pay property taxes annually. Make no mistake, this process is simple after a little experience and practice. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, but nothing in the world of business really is. If the property owner fails to pay property tax, the county will authorize the tax commissioner to notice the property owner multiple times. If the process fails to produce payments and the property owner refuses to pay, the tax commissioner will lien and then ultimately levy. That'll be followed by a judgment, which Georgia will call a FIFE, which simply means there's a judgment against the property. At that point, Gwinnett County Tax Commissioner will post the property for a tax defaulted auction. The property will be sold to the highest bidder. The starting bids required by law will be at least the delinquent past due taxes and a few less valuable liens. Properties rarely sell for the minimum bid. The tax commissioner is selling a redeemable deed, which protects the property owner for 1 year or 365 days after the auction. Here's why this matters to you as an investor. When you purchase at auction, you receive a redeemable deed. That gives the original property owner 365 days to redeem their property after the auction. If they do redeem, the delinquent property owner must pay the highest bidder 100% of their bid plus a 20% penalty. This is not interest. It's a fixed penalty mandated by Georgia law. This means if you bid $50,000 on a property and the owner redeems in just 30 days, you receive $60,000. That's your $50,000 plus the $10,000, which is the 20% penalty. Where else can you get a guaranteed 20% return protected and mandated by state law? A note of caution. Only uneducated investors, I call them risk takers, purchase at tax defaulted properties at auction without research, which includes the property title, and without having boots on the ground to observe the physical condition of the property and analyze the neighborhood. Purchasing without due diligence is hoping for success, or maybe it's just a prayer, and prayer is not a very good business strategy. Savvy investors with patience and training generate superior returns in Gwinnett County, Georgia. Let me emphasize, in tax defaulted real estate, you make your money when you buy at the auction. If you don't get this part right, you'll end up spinning your wheels and you'll make only a fraction of what you deserve. That's why I recommend working with experienced coaches who understand these auctions. To review, the winning bidder receives a redeemable deed. The delinquent property owner may redeem any time. County and municipal governments auction this real estate as is, where is. That means caveat emptor. This means the county will have no opinion as to the physical condition of the property, and the county does not guarantee or warranty the title to be free of defects. The auction sale process will delete, that's extinguish, the junior liens. However, IRS liens and municipal liens will remain on the property. Now that you understand how to potentially earn a mandated 20% return in Gwinnett County, I'm going to have one of my research experts show you exactly how to find the information about the upcoming auction so you can be prepared to profit from the next opportunity.
Thank you, Ted. My name is Linda, and I have been a researcher here at the Ted Thomas team for 7 years. And today I'm going to show you how to find the information for Gwinnett County, Georgia. So it all starts with the tax commissioner's website in Georgia. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to Gwinnett County Tax Commissioner on Google. This will give me a direct link to the tax commissioner's website. Once I'm here, I'll go ahead and click the link. And then what we're really looking for, and you can utilize this for any county, is you're looking for keywords to bring you towards the tax defaulted property, which again is delinquent taxes. So on the home screen, you can see right here, there is a keyword property tax. So when I hover over that, I'm going to continue reading, and then I see delinquent tax. And further from that, I see tax lien and tax sales. So once you click on that, this is the spot that you need to be in. This is going to have all the information that you need, and I would take the time to read this through. Now, I have prepared ahead of time, so what I can tell you is when you scroll all the way down, it's going to tell you that the information is actually on the home page. So after reading this, I said, okay, let's go back to the home page then. So to do that, I just clicked on this symbol up here, and this brought me back to the home page. So now I scroll and I look, and if I keep scrolling down, right here on the home page, it says upcoming tax sales. Now in Georgia, they can have a tax sale once a month on the first Tuesday, but if there's no inventory, they don't have to have it every month. So for this specific auction, Gwinnett County, you can see it says auctions can happen on August 5th, October 7th, and December 2nd. And so because we're recording this before August 5th, typically the auction list comes out 30 days before the auction date. And so the auction list is not out yet, but this is where you're going to find that type of information. However, there is a link that there is information about the tax sale and procedures. So this is actually the rules that you can read ahead of time to get prepared. So let's click on that. And now here's the information regarding the tax sale. This is going to be important because it's going to tell you things like the payment method. So for this county, they accept cashier's check or cash. It also mentions that you have to pay no later than 1 hour following the conclusion of the sale. So pretty much you have to pay immediately after the auction concludes. As we get closer to August 5th, more information is going to appear in this section. That information is going to be specific auction rules, like what time the auction starts and the location, if it's live or if it's online. Now, it's probably going to be live, as majority of the counties in Georgia are. It's also going to have the auction list, which you can download in an Excel file and actually start to narrow your list from there. Another link that is on this section is the bidder registration form. So if we click on that, it's going to have a little bit more detail, like what time the auction starts. As you can see, it says 10 a.m., the registration process, and it tells you not to show up later than 9:45 because you do have to get your bidder's card. Now, some other information that is missing tailored to August 5th is going to be the actual auction list. Now, the auction list comes out about 30 days before the auction date. So this is the location and the area on the site where you're going to be able to get that information and actually download the list so you can start narrowing it down and picking your properties to research. I hope this was helpful, and back to you, Ted.
We are educators. We're not lawyers, we're not attorneys, we're not financial advisors, appraisers, or investment gurus. These examples are for educational purposes only, not estimates or projections of income. The truth is, as in any endeavor in life, success takes time. It takes some struggle. You'll need to develop some stamina and be able to struggle along your way to success. You need to commit yourself to the learning curve of discovering what works, doing some testing and learning. This is going to take some time. Georgia conducts redeemable deed auctions monthly. My next video reveals an example of an investor purchasing at auction for just pennies on the dollar and then waiting on the right of redemption to expire. Click the next video to watch.